Okay. Hey guys, welcome. Thank you for joining in on Periscope. Sorry, I've got several different devices running at one time. New to this still, my second episode podcast. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate it. You taking the time. Let me give you a little brief description about what the show's about. My name's Travis Jones. I'm your host for the Nergazim podcast. And what I do is every Wednesday I buy new comic books. And what I do is I read those comic books, and then on this show on Fridays, I try to make it on Fridays anyway, I read the books between Wednesday and Friday, and I give you a little review. I try not to give anything away, no spoilers. I really try hard not to do that because that's one of the great things about the books that you read nowadays is they've got some oh shit endings. So what I try to do is I try to give you a brief synopsis on what the book's about, if I liked it or not, whether I think you would like it or not, what are some of the things that maybe if you liked it, some other things that might interest you. And when then you go to the comic book shop, you can go, hey, that goofy big bearded guy was talking about Battleworld and said it was pretty awesome. I'm going to check it out. So that's all I'm here to do. I'm not paid by the industry, obviously, with the technical stuff that I have to work with. I'm not paid by anybody. I do this because I love it. My father read comic books to me when I was growing up, and it's what I loved. It's what I love to do. I love to read comic books, and I want to share that with you, with the viewers, and hopefully help you make a decision. Maybe you want to get back into reading comic books again, and we'll talk about reading the book format and the online version a little bit later in the show. But all right, let's get started. Let's jump in the books. Huge week today, or this week. Several comic books that came out. The whole Battleworld thing has now started in Marvel, which was basically the destruction of the multiverse. All the multiverses have crashed. If you were reading the Avengers run, Hickman's run, Remender's run, then you know that you may have seen it at the top of books. It said time has ran out. 3 months till time runs out. 2 months till time runs out. Time has ran out. Well, time has ran out. The multiverses have crashed. The Marvel universe that we know and love, the 616 universe and the Ultimate Universe 1610 is the Ultimate Universe. If you're familiar with that, if you're not, do not worry about it. I'm just giving you a little bit of backstory. It's very confusing. But for some people that kind of know what's going on, it might make a little more sense. But what I want to do is I want to give you a little overview of Battleworld. Okay, I've got this pretty cool map. I'm trying to get it in this frame shot there. See that? That is Battleworld. Okay, all these areas here, okay, are provinces from future stories that Marvel has had. 2099, Planet Hulk, Civil War. There's a limbo area in here. There's Manhattan, which is basically the 1610 universe, the Ultimate Universe is where those guys are, and where some of our heroes are from 616. I'll get into that in a minute. But this is the world, okay? And if you can see down here at the bottom, there's a line that runs across here, okay? They're calling that the Shield. Shield, get it? And it's like kind of like the wall in Game of Thrones, if you ask me. But basically, that is a wall that has a bigger part of the story to play. We haven't found out yet, but as I review some of these issues, the wall is very, very important, or the shield, I should say, is very, very important. Now, all of this, even though these are separate countries or separate provinces ran among themselves, they're all ran by one ruler. Okay, and if you watched the show last week, I talked about Secret Wars #2, which was an incredible, the Nergazim pick of the week last week. It is ran by the Allfather Doom. Got doomed right. The Allfather, Victor Von Doom, runs it all. He's the guy that everybody answers to. He leaves you alone, but you can't break any of his rules. You break any of his rules, there's severe consequences to pay. Now, we're going to get into some of that. But first, while we've got that little, while you're marinating on Battleworld, which I know it can be a little overwhelming, but I just want to say, don't get too caught up in it. These stories they're really, really cool. If you've been a Marvel fan for the last 20, 25 years, you're going to recognize things in here that other people won't, that are just tuning in. And if you're just tuning in, if you're just buying this book for the first time, you're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it because they're doing so many cool things. The artwork's great. The stories have been really good so far. Some of them not so well. We'll talk about that here in a minute. No stinkers yet, so kudos on that, Marvel. But we're going to talk about some other books, some books I didn't get to last week that I want to share with you. And this is the first one I want to talk about. It's Chrononauts. Chrononauts by Mark Millar and Sean Murphy. Wow. Mark Millar, however you say it, the Scotsman. We all know he's crazy. Man, what a great book. Well, it's about two doctors, okay, that dabble in the time stream. Now, one of them his name is, I wrote him down here so I won't forget him, Chrononauts. Corbin Quinn and Danny Riley, okay? They're buddies. They're super, super smart guys. Think Tony Stark and Reed Richards, okay? They're good-looking dudes. Danny's kind of a ladies' man, likes to party. Quinn is all about his work. And what his work is hacking the time stream. Okay? And he's done that. He hacks the time stream, and he's supposed to go back in time. It's a huge thing. It's world-changing. Imagine today if somebody came on the news, Stephen Hawking figured out how to travel back through time, or how to fold time over to where he could go and view incredible events. Well, Corbin Quinn does that. He goes back in time. Well, what happens is his supposedly his suit, which is what enables them to travel through the time stream, gets bumped off course. He was supposed to go back and view a certain era. He gets bumped into another one. Okay, so he's kind of lost to him right now. Well, Danny, who's his buddy, who was in charge of building the suit that harnessed the technology that Corbin had created, he's like, oh, hell no, I got to go get him. He's my friend. He's my buddy. I'm going to get him. So against, a lot of people saying, you don't understand how important this is. You go back and mess up the time stream, and it could change everything. We know. He's like, I don't care. I'm going. So they thought, all right, having Corbin lost the time is probably more dangerous. So they send him back. He goes back in time. Well, I don't want to give anything away, but what he goes and finds is not what he expected to find. And Corbin's got a pretty deep backstory that we haven't got into yet. They're on issue 3. I got all 3 issues last week, read them, and I'm telling you, the movie rights have already been bought from Mark Millar. So this is going to be a movie. I cannot wait because the comic book reads like a movie. There's a chase scene in issue 3, and it goes across time dimensions, and it's Civil War, prehistoric era, the Khans, and it's amazing. I mean, I remember, when's the last time you bought a comic book and you couldn't wait to turn the page? That's what this is. Chrononauts, not your typical superhero story, but it's about 2 probably flawed characters that I think are going to try to find their way back into the light, so to speak. But man, it's a fun book. It's a action roller coaster book. Check it out. It's really, really good stuff. Mark Millar, you've done it again, my friend, and I'll continue to buy whatever the fuck you write. Great book. Okay, the next book I read last week that was very interesting was Injection by Warren Ellis. Now, this is the variant cover, putting up to the webcam, and now I'm trying to let you Periscope fellas see it. Very, very strange. It's the very first issue. I kind of don't know what's going on, but what I do know what's going on looks pretty cool. Warren Ellis, if you've read any of Warren Ellis' stuff, he's I don't want to say an abstract storyteller, but he tells a story in a very, very unique way. And it's one of those, when you get to issue 4 or 5 of this, you're going to want to go back and grab number 1 and reread it. Because you're like, oh, I get it. I get that scene now. But it's got several characters in it. They all have very strange character moments in this book. You don't know anything about anybody yet. There's not even names given. So Pretty cool. I'm going to continue to check it out. I'm going to give Warren a chance with this one just because I know how his storytelling is. $2.99, so it's cheap. But, if you're on a budget, maybe something you want to pass on. But I'll definitely be checking it out and giving you future reviews on the rest of them. Okay, now, getting back to Battleworld. Okay, loving this Battleworld stuff, man. This is a geek's dream. It really is. All right, for one thing, you got books like this week. Master of Kung Fu Battleworld. Really? Yes, Master of Kung Fu. Shang-Chi's back at it, and he's drunk. Okay, so now, set this up a little bit. This is, again, one of the provinces, one of the domains in Battleworld. Okay, 616, 1610, they were the last two multiverses left. Now they have fallen. Now all you have left is Battleworld. Battleworld has these provinces ran by certain people, and in this one, the Master of Kung Fu Battleworld, it's titled Master Drunk, which I thought was awesome because Shang-Chi's drunk when we find him in the beginning of this issue. But it's ran by his father, okay? His father kind of sounds like a dick. We don't know yet, but he's probably a dick, like he was in real life. Or I say real life, like he was in the 616 universe. But we find Shang-Chi's drunk. The police at the time, which one of them's Razor Fist, was, you all know, the Masters of Kung Fu rogues. Razor Fist was one of the villains that he used to fight. Hey, get up, you're drunk, get out of here, no vagrancy. And Shang-Chi's like, hey, look, I would, but I'm drunk, I can't move, okay? And me being a firefighter and dealing with drunks all the time, that's exactly what they say. Hey, man, move it on. I can't, I'm drunk, I can't move. So they're like, well, basically, we're going to burn you alive. And then they say, well, burn his dog, because he's got a dog with him, which ends up being his dad's. So Shang-Chi's like, well, I can't have that either. So basically, drunken Kung Fu Master messes them all up. And I don't want to give anything away, but there's a group of people that are watching Shang-Chi. And they know that somebody's standing up to these guys. It's about time. We're going to get behind him. And then they find out it's Shang-Chi. And then they're like, oh, hell yeah. Okay, if anybody can take down his father, it's Shang-Chi. Who is wanted for a murder of the previous predecessor. It was like a sheriff, I assume. Not sure yet. It's only the first issue. It's the very first issue of this book. But it's really cool. I love Shang-Chi. I love old martial arts films and stuff of such. So if you like that kind of stuff, this may be the book for you. If you're just an old comic book collector like me, you're going to want to check this out, I think. It's pretty neat, pretty cool, great writing. The art is pretty decent. It's fair enough. So check it out. Shang-Chi #1, Battleworld. I'm looking forward to see what happens in the future. All right, now, A-Force. All right, you see that? It's She-Hulk and several other women of the Marvel Universe. You've got Nico Maru in there. You've got Jean Grey. You've got American Chavez, okay, who's the Captain America of this group. But basically, okay, we're still in Battleworld, okay? She-Hulk is the ruler or commander of a place called Arcadia. Okay, Arcadia sits on our map there. Arcadia in Battleworld sits at the very bottom. It's an island, okay, and it's right just north of the wall or the shield that they're calling. Okay, so the looks of Arcadia. There's people shopping, people going to farmers markets. You see in the background, you see Luke Cage, and it looks like maybe Jessica Jones pushing their baby along. All right, so everything looks great, okay? Well, then there's a huge shark creature, like a prehistoric shark creature, that comes out of the water, kind of terrorizes everybody. So A-Force assembles. All right, it's kind of like the Avengers of this dimension or this area, this province. All right, so basically they go and fight it. Nico Maru, American Chavez, Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, who's a big favorite of mine. She's in the book as well. Well, American Chavez does something that she shouldn't. She broke one of Doom's rules. Now I don't want to say what it is, but she broke one of the first, they call it the first rule. Well, now guess who's coming? The Thors. And if you remember last week's show, Secret Wars #2, they introduced Doom's police force for the entire realm of Battleworld is the Thors. Not just one Thor, not just two Thors, but it looks like hundreds of Thors. And actually, in one of the Thors is Groot. There's a Groot Thor, which I loved. There's the Frog Thor. So, I mean, there's all kinds of Thors that police this realm. They show up. That's bad news. She-Hulk tries to appeal to the sheriff of the entire realm, Doom's right-hand man, Doctor Strange. All right, Doctor Strange is pretty badass, I have to say. Never been a big Strange fan, but some of the stuff that's came out in recent weeks, especially his stuff from the Illuminati and what he gave up of himself to try to keep the multiverses from dying, really kind of shined a different light on Strange for me. So I'm digging Strange being the sheriff to Doom. All right, so basically, Strange is like, no, she broke the first rule. You do your duty and don't defy Lord Doom. And I won't say what the punishment is. She-Hulk is powerless to stop it, but what she does do, she assembles a force and says, look, I was powerless to stop what happened to America Chavez, but what I want is for this to never happen to any of my group again. So they call in the Submariners, okay, which we all know who that's going to be. They show up, and she's like, look, I need your help finding where this thing came from and to make sure it never happens again. So they're traveling down the depths of the ocean to find out what happens. So I don't want to give anything away. Pretty good. It was not as good as some of the other Battleworld Secret War stuff has been, but I'm curious to see where it goes. So looking forward to seeing what that brings us. All right, now I'm going to get into Battleworld. Imagine that. Ultimate End #1. Okay? Now, this is by Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley. They're famous for their Ultimate Spider-Man run and numerous other things. Brian Michael Bendis has been one of the great writers of my generation. And so now he wrote this, and it's basically in Manhattan, based in Manhattan. So remember, Manhattan is a province of Battleworld, and it's the Tony Stark of 1610 universe and Tony Stark of 616 universe. Our Tony Stark. All right. R. Green. There's a few others that are in this. Basically, those are the main two. They have an argument. They know something has went wrong. They don't know what it is. They want to figure it out. Tony Stark, the great part of this book is Tony Stark has an argument with himself. The 616 Tony Stark and the 1610 Tony Stark. They have an argument. So it's hilarious. Because 1610 Tony Stark's like, dude, I know you. I know what you would have done because I would have done it. And you messed up. I'm telling you, you messed up because I can tell you that. So it's kind of like, how do you argue with yourself? But Tony does it the only way Tony can. So it's pretty cool. And at the end of the issue, their machinations, so to speak, they bring upon them something that they were afraid would happen if the word got out, that they knew something was wrong. And this group shows up, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's kind of like, oh, snap, what's going to go off now? Because it could be a big, big war. So really curious to see how the Ultimate Universe ends, so to speak. So looking forward to issue #2. All right, now, Battleworld, first issue. Okay, and on the cover you can see their Cap fighting Ultron. You've got some MODOKs in the background there. Okay, it's not like a MODOK we've ever seen. You got Punisher, you got Howard the Duck, you got one of the Thors. Looks like Odin, actually. All right, so this is 2 stories. And the first story, it was the best story. The second story is just a different kind of story. First story, pretty cool. Not sure what era they're from, but check this out. This is pretty neat. Punisher is on the run. Imagine that. All right, Punisher's on the run, and he is fused with Doctor Strange. You don't know why. They don't tell you why. You just know they're on the run. Okay? Now, he's being hunted by what they call the Infernal Four. I believe that's right. The Infernal Four. Let me double check that. The Infernal Four, which is Wolverine, Ghost Rider, the Hulk, and Spider-Man. All right, and with the you don't get any backstory in any of this issue. You just kind of got to piece together things. But evidently, these guys were in hell so long, they had to stay. I don't know why. So they're all kind of brimstone-ish. All right? You know, Spider-Man looks a little different. Wolverine looks a little different. Hulk kind of looked the same to me. Ghost Rider, of course, you know, fuck, he's from hell anyway. So they are tracking Punisher down. And what's so neat about this book is Punisher uses Doctor Strange's arcane arts ability into an arsenal. And he's messing people up. He messes the Infernal Four up. It was really cool. Punisher fashion. If Punisher was a warlock or wizard of some type and had these abilities, he would do it, but he was still Punisher. I mean, he's throwing these mystical grenades at them and everything. Really, really neat. Pretty cool book. I don't want to give away the end, and I won't. But it didn't end like you think it might. I'll just say that. But pretty neat stuff out of Battleworld, this first issue. Now, the second story is a MODOK issue. All right? Now, I know if you haven't read comic books in a long time, in the last year to 2 years, there's the Secret Avengers book. It made MODOK pretty popular among fans. He kind of had this crush on Maria Hill, and it was kind of weird but funny at the same time. MODOK wanted to be good, and then he realized a MODOK machine only meant for killing. So he had to go back to killing people. It was a whole thing. It was kind of crazy. A lot of fans liked it. I liked it. I didn't love it like a lot of fans did. But this deals with MODOK in Battleworld. Okay, he comes up with some teleportation technology. Now, somehow he pulls MODOKs from the time stream. Which, how is he doing that if the multiverse has collapsed? I don't know. Didn't really say. I really don't think it matters, because by the end of the issue, they're basically all dead anyway. But no spoiler there, trust me. No spoiler there. So they come back. So MODOK's like, look, you're going to help me overthrow Doom. And all the MODOKs are like, why would we help you? He goes, well, it's my plan, so you're going to help me. And they're like, no, it should be my plan because I'm more evolved than you are. And this is already 5 mistakes you've already made in your plan. So they argue, and this argument goes on. And then there's like this baby MODOK who's like, Daddy. And he's like, who the hell are you? I don't even know who you are. Who sired this creature? And the way MODOK talks, it's pretty funny. I actually laughed out loud reading the issue when I really was like, if it had not been for this show, I might have not read the issue, to be honest. I might have just stopped at the punch and been like, yeah, this MODOK thing's kind of corny. Funny stuff from MODOK in this issue. So if you're liking MODOK, this is a must-have issue, because this is some of the funniest stuff that I've read in a comic book in a long time. So 2 stories for the price of 1. Pretty good book. I'm digging the Battleworld Secret War stuff. If you haven't already figured that out, I'm digging it. Now, without further ado, the Nergazim pick of the week. All right. Zip. Planet Hulk. Now, if you can see that guy at the bottom there, trying to get it to where everybody can see who that is. Okay. Of course, you see the fist, the green fist. Planet Hulk, number 1. Battleworld. Okay. Greenland. This is where everybody's a Hulk. It's ran by the Red King. Red Hulk, anybody? Yes. Okay. Um, it's pretty crazy there. All right. I'm trying to be spoiler free on this, which is going to be kind of tough. But what I want to tell you about is this guy. Now, kind of looks a little different. You might not be able to make it out if you didn't know who it was right offhand. Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers is, when the book opens, we got Steve Rogers in the gladiatorial pits, like Coliseum style. Dead animal, like dead creatures all around him. Steve's got this axe in his shield, and he's got this T-Rex with him. Okay, they call him the devil. This big red-ass T-Rex. Okay, him and Steve are just destroying shit. All right. So basically, it was Steve's plan. He went through all these rounds to get to Arcade. Evidently, Arcade is the ruler of this province. All right. He gets close enough to Arcade, and and him and Devil have some kind of like maybe psychic or telepathic ability to communicate with each other. Because Devil's like, now, and Steve's like, not now, not yet, not yet, not yet. So I won't give nothing away there, okay? So basically, that falls through. Steve's plan kind of falls through. Now he's before Lord Doom, the All-Father Doom, and the Sheriff, which is Doctor Strange, okay? And they're like, you messed up, Rogers. You messed up, all right? Now, there's only one thing Steve has been wanting to know. The reason he wanted to get close enough to Arcade was to ask him, where's Bucky? What did you do with Bucky? We don't know. Arcade won't tell him, and then Steve's plan's kind of foiled. So now he's asking Doom, like, you tell me what you did with Bucky. So basically, Doom's like, he sits on this tree, the tree of Yggdrasil's like his throne. It's so badass. And Doom's sitting there, and he just goes with his finger. And Strange, like, oh, the finger. I know what that means. So then he starts telling Rogers, look, we're going to give you the same deal that we gave Bucky Barnes. You go to Greenland, and you take care of this Hulk problem for us. They're causing trouble. The Doom, Lord Doom, doesn't want to dirty his hands or step down from his level to take care of the problem. So we want you to do it. We'll give you the same deal we gave Barnes. Take care of the problem. Live there free. Rule it. You're the ruler. You're free. You're out from under our thumb. Have at it. So, now, and Rogers, the only thing Rogers said was, give me my T-Rex back. All right. So the next thing you know, Strange is abracadabra, and boom. Now he's getting ready. He's in Greenland. Gonna go take care of this Hulk problem. Well, he's confronted right off the bat by somebody that I won't give it away, but you know this person's gonna show up in a book called Planet Hulk. Trust me. You're going to be like, oh, well, yeah, duh, no shit. You're not really giving nothing away. But I won't spoil the end, because he's basically like, what are you doing here, Rogers? So it's cool. My Nergazim pick of the week. I mean, shit, man. It's Cap with an axe, riding a T-Rex. Now he's getting ready to fight Hulks. I mean, shit, man. Come on. It don't get no fucking better than this. And for $4.99, yeah, Marvel, take my $5 every month. I wish this shit came out weekly. I'd buy this shit weekly. All right, I'd sell crack if I had to buy this shit every week. If it came out every week. A bunch of books this week. Now, that was my Nerdgasm pick of the week, Planet Hulk. If you only get one book this week, man, this is my pick. Okay, out of everything that I read. Now, to get to some of the books that I didn't read. All right. Now, I know a lot of you are going to give me some shit over this. I just didn't have time, guys. I'm sorry, but I definitely will read it and review it. But it's the Secret Wars Deadpool Secret. Okay? I have no idea what this book is about. It's got Deadpool on the front. He's got this crazy grin on his face. You got Iron Man, Wolverine, Hulk, Cap, Thor, and Deadpool's got the bunny ears behind their head the whole time. So I'm sure it's going to be some crazy Deadpool shit. And I hope so anyway, with some mindless violence, hopefully. But this is on my to-do list this week. I also have Convergence. Yes, I do read DC stuff. For all you people giving me hate mail about not reading DC, I do read DC. I do. I read the Superman stuff. I read Batman. Batman's one of my favorite characters of all time, so I'm not a DC hater at all. Now, I'm reading Convergence. The only thing I'm reading in Convergence is Convergence, the main title. And I'll be honest, some of the Convergence stuff I've read so far, I know what's going on, but there's a lot of subplot stuff that because I'm not reading other books in Convergence that I'm missing out on. So, but this book has been pretty good. It's not been too bad, even though I may be not as I may be a little more lost than I normally would be reading a book. But that's on my list. Now, the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, all these books, these are the last issues since Battleworld has started. Now, this is the last Guardians book, and you got a question mark down here. It says the end. Are the Guardians breaking up? I've heard rumors of a Star-Lord Kitty book that's going to start. Maybe that's the reason they're breaking up. I don't know, but I'll tell you next week. I promise. Guardians. I love the Guardians. So this is one of my favorite books I pick up every week. So I will definitely be reading that and getting back with you. And now we've got Star-Lord. Okay, this will be the penultimate issue of this as well because Battleworld started. So this is going to be the last issue of Star-Lord. Now, we don't know, and Marvel has not told us yet. Now, some of you may have already seen this online. I have not. What titles are going to be coming back after the Battleworld? Okay, I know some people are going to die. You know, universes are meshing together. So who knows? But Star-Lord's a pretty popular book. Would think this would come back, but I'm gonna read this, and I'll get back with you on it. Now, some of the Valiant stuff that I read. Used to read all the Valiant stuff, and it just got to be I spent so much money each week. I had to start dropping my titles off. Bloodshot, all those titles were really good, but they got kind of slow for me, so I had to basically cast them to the side because other stuff was coming out. But now I've always liked Ninjak. I even liked Ninjak in the '90s when he came out. He's basically an MI6 agent that is a ninja. He's got this super powered ninja suit. It's kind of like Tony Stark, but not as bulky. He's got all these little gadgets and tricks. He's pretty neat. I'm liking it. It's on issue 3 right now, so I am buying this. I'll review it next week. Now, one of the books that I reviewed last week, and I told you about, the Star Wars Darth Vader, Princess Leia, I think it's Khan, The Last Padawan. These are really good books, man. I'm telling you, when Marvel got the Star Wars franchise back to do the comics over from Dark Horse, I was kind of worried. Do not be worried. Do not be worried. Darth Vader is one of my favorite books that come out each month. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, Darth Vader's back. So, I mean, Vader's great. The Star Wars book is really good. And I'll tell you, it's not Jason Aaron. Is it Jason Aaron? Yes, Jason Aaron and John Cassidy. How did I not know Jason Aaron wrote this? Jason Aaron is like, if I have a man crush on a comic book writer, it's Jason Aaron. You're the tits, dude. You're the tits. I mean, everything you write is amazing. Star Wars is no exception. Jason Aaron, John Cassidy's artwork is sick. It's dope. Check it out. This is a great book for your money. You're getting a super artist, a top writer, and a superstar artist all in one book. So definitely be checking this out this week. Maybe do another show this week before Wednesday. I like to get it out before the new books come out this Wednesday. So we'll see how that goes. But that's it for the reviews, guys. Like to thank you for tuning in. I see that I've got some people on my let's see here, on my Periscope. I really appreciate that. It doesn't look like I have any questions, so all right, I guess I don't. So well, I hope to grow this podcast. Please tell your friends if you like it. I'm on YouTube as well, the Nergazim Hour. Check me out on YouTube. I'll have this up and running tonight, so hopefully it'll be on there either later on tonight or in the morning. Please give me a like if you like it. give me some comments. Give me some suggestions. You can also find me on Twitter, Nergazim Hour. Okay, there's no the. It's at Nergazim Hour. And like I said, on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, the Nergazim Hour podcast on Instagram. Drop me some feedback. The Nergazim Hour at Gmail is the email address. Drop me a line, man. Let me know what I can do. Let me know if you agree with my reviews, if you don't agree with my reviews. I'll also have a correction to make from last week. I gave you some backstory from Injustice, and I said when Superman picked up Lois and his unborn child, which you didn't know, it was Lois. He thought it was the Joker when he killed her. It wasn't the Joker. It was Doomsday. And a guy in one of my Facebook groups brought that to my attention after he watched the show. You're right. I apologize. It was still the Joker's plan. And this came out 2.5, 3 years ago. So I was a little fuzzy on the details. Still a great book, but I wanted to put that out there. I don't get things right all the time. And you may read something in what I reviewed this week and be like, no, you got that wrong, man. Hit me up. Let me know. I'll give you props on the show. I'll say, hey, so-and-so, Big Cooter 55 said that I was wrong last week, and he was right. And thanks, Big Cooter. So, drop me a line. Let me know. I'd like to have some feedback. I want to grow the show. I want to continue to do this for you guys. I love this stuff with a passion. Let me know if you want to know some game news. I'm a big Marvel's Alliance player. Avengers Marvel's Alliance. No, I'm sorry. Marvel's Avengers Alliance. Sorry about that. Yeah. MAA. It's a Facebook game. I'm a huge player on there. But I tell you, what I'll do is if you want that, I'll put that on the show. But you can go to From the Helicarrier. Those guys, Epic Boss McFall, and Abbott, and Soapbox Klotz, those guys they're the pros. The Kingfisher on YouTube, he's got great videos I check into all the time. These guys are the guys you need to be listening to, not me. I am a 300 level player, but I'm not on these guys level at all. So, but I love the game. Would like to talk about the game to people. I'm in several Facebook groups, the Avengers Legion, the Avengers League on Facebook. So check out the show on YouTube. Give me a like if you like it. Leave me a comment. Get on Periscope. I try to do this live on Periscope so I can have some interaction with the fans. I love doing that stuff, man. So please, give me a like. Tap the screen on your Periscope. Let me know what's going on. Guys, I want to thank you. If you made it to this part right here, you do not know how much love I have for you right now, because I know to hear and listen to me talk about comic books is something that only true fans would do. So I know if you made this far, you're a true fan, and God love you, man. But thanks, guys, and may Odin be with you. I'll see you guys later.